Hello and welcome into the Retirement Playbook on this pre-Thanksgiving show. I am Brock Alspaugh. You are now listening to the Retirement Playbook brought to you by Alspaugh Wealth Management. And as always, I'm joined by my co-host, Mr. Tony Shore. Hello, Tony.
Hello, Brock. You are fired up for Thanksgiving and for the show today.
Yes.
All I can say when it comes to Thanksgiving, the old turkey drop episode.
As God is my witness, I thought turkeys could fly.
Yep, we heard that last week, Tony.
I know.
Come on.
I know.
Man.
I have to play it again.
Well, listen, I'm really excited, man. And, one thing about it, Tony, is we are not going to be able to rerun this show after we just said it's Thanksgiving tomorrow.
That's true.
That's okay.
That's okay. That's okay.
Hey, listen, I'm really excited, though. Look, this is my favorite time of the year, because the weather's the weather's turning my favorite kind of weather where you got 40 degrees as a high, maybe 50 during the day, and then it gets cool at night. Man, I love it. I love it.
Same.
Yep. And then now, though, Tony, is a great time to reflect on this past year and where we've been, and not only that, but where we're going next year. It's a great time to get out of the hustle and bustle and really kind of focus on who you are, where you're going, and who you want to be, and all this kind of stuff. So it's been, I love this time of year, and I'm sure you can feel my energy. But when it comes to retirement, there's different thoughts to have on when you're going to retire and all those kinds of things. We're going to talk about that today. So we're going to talk a little bit more in general about just retirement in general. Tony is, the different planning ages and those kinds of things. So, but before we get into the actual topic today, I want you to go to our website, folks. It's alspaughwealthmanagement.com. You can look at past shows. You can download the Retirement Income Toolkit. You can get information on Roth conversions. Lots and lots of different information on our website. So go to there and seek out the information that you need to hear to help you. And then also, we want you to go to our YouTube page. So go to YouTube and search Alspaugh Wealth Management, and you can follow along. You can hit the follow button and subscribe, and you'll be notified when we have a new episode. So just a few things there to help yourself maybe get a little bit more information. But ultimately, folks, if the information only does you so good, like it's good to have it, but you got to act on it. And the one way you can act on getting a retirement plan is to give us a call. 573-332-7855, or you can go to our website and you can actually request an appointment with me right there at the top of the page. So click that button and fill out that information, and we'll give you a call and we'll get together. All right.
Great.
Tony, tomorrow, all right, this week, Thanksgiving, man, what is your favorite side dish?
Side dish for Thanksgiving. Wow, that's tough. It depends on what you define as a side dish. I love
not a meat.
I love the fresh baked dinner rolls. If that's not really a side dish, but I love the rolls.
No, that qualifies.
But my number one would have to be the mashed potatoes.
Of course.
With the
gravy. I do this spot every week with Whitney in the mornings.
Yep.
And we actually did it this morning.
Okay.
And she asked me that question, and I said mashed potatoes. So look at us, Tony. Yep. We both love pizza. We both love wings. We both love ribs. And now we both have a favorite Thanksgiving dish. It's like we're brothers.
It is. Yeah, we're brothers from another mother, right? That's what we are. We're good to go. Yeah.
I tell you, man. Like, do you guys do turkey or do you do ham at Thanksgiving?
We do turkey at Thanksgiving. Yeah, we do ham at Christmas.
Yeah, see, you're a traditionalist just like me.
Yep.
I do the same exact thing.
Yep.
And I love it. I never get tired of it.
I don't either.
But I do have to admit something, Tony. This is kind of a big one for me. Every year I smoke a turkey. So I brine it for 2 or 3 days, and then I heard
that can cause cancer, smoking turkeys. You shouldn't
anyway.
Bad joke.
So anyway, I've always done it, and I smoke it for like 7 or 8 hours on Thanksgiving. I wake up early and put it on, and it's smoked.
Nice,
beautiful black color. I mean, it's just, and it's brined in apple juice and some other things that Ryan F-Tink from Smoking Brothers. He gives you that recipe.
Yep.
And so anyway, it's awesome. But this year, Tony, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. We only have a very limited amount of people coming this year. So I said, you know what? We're just going to buy it, and we got it from, I don't know, some store or whatever. But so I'm kind of sad about that. I'm feeling kind of bad that I'm not doing it.
It's okay to break tradition once in a while and, just take it easy this year. Take a little break.
Yeah, not having to get up at 4:30 to put it on the grill.
I'm sure there's a lot of motivation not to do it too. Yeah, a lot of perks to not having to do that, right?
So you tell me, what's one of your traditions? What do you do? What's one of your things you do on Thanksgiving?
As far as food wise,
yeah.
My favorite thing isn't the meal. My favorite food is not the turkey or the mashed potatoes on Thanksgiving Day. It's the next day. Either late that night if I'm still hungry, which usually I'm not, but if I'm hungry enough later for a sandwich, what I'll do is we always get way too big of a turkey, or we even make two, right? Depending on how many people we have coming over, to make sure we have leftover turkey, because I like to take that turkey breast that I've sliced with the electric knife off. I like to take those pieces the next day, put them in a frying pan with some butter. And I've talked about this on the show before.
You have.
I put those slices in the butter in the frying pan, season it, a little bit of whatever you want on there, Lowry seasoning or whatever good seasoning you have.
Yeah.
Or just a little salt and pepper. Then I take toast or the leftover dinner rolls, even better.
Okay.
Put mayo and cheese on there and put the fried turkey in there. Do you
melt the cheese while it's in the pan?
Oh, yeah. Oh. And then I eat it in a sandwich. And let me tell you, that sandwich right there will set you free. And it's better than any of the food I ate on Thanksgiving Day.
I feel like you should eat that for your meal. Like that day.
Right. I get looks when I take my dinner roll, I open it up, I go to the fridge, the whole family's there. I'm putting mayo on it and I'm putting cheese on it, and I'm taking the sliced turkey and making turkey sandwiches out of the buns. Everyone's looking at me. Maybe a splotch of gravy on there. I'm like, no, this is delicious.
Oh man, dude, that sounds so good.
It is delicious.
I'm definitely doing that this year.
Yeah,
I'm definitely doing
so good. I'll tell you what, there's nothing better than the leftover turkey fried just on your stove, fried in a pan with a little bit of butter, but don't overdo it, or it'll dry it out. But you just want to moisten it with the butter, get it warm, season it, put a little cheese on there, then put it in between two nice pieces of bread. You can either do toast with regular bread, or hopefully you have dinner rolls left over. Make a couple of little turkey sliders with those dinner rolls.
Okay, we're digressing here. This is a downward spiral of the wealth management playbook.
We're supposed to talk about retirement planning, right?
Yeah, we are. So listen, the economy was healthy in 2024 for the most part.
Yeah, it really was.
Yup, thanks to mainly decreasing inflation and a strong stock market.
Yep.
Many Americans continue to express nervousness, though, if not right out fear, about their economic futures. In fact, many of our clients have told me they're concerned their 20-something kids or grandkids may not be able to enjoy anything close to a traditional retirement. And I think one of the reasons why people feel that way, Tony, is because we're the doing away with the traditional pensions. Right. And so, outside of a teacher, maybe a railroad worker, those people still definitely are going to have pensions. But companies, private corporations providing pensions to people you just don't see it anymore. It's mainly 401ks, 403bs, simple plans, SEP plans, and those kinds of things, which anything is better than nothing. But it's on you to make sure that you invest the right amount, that you invest appropriately from an allocation standpoint. So I think there's some nervousness from people that, hey, I may not, it's on me to figure this thing out. Well, and that's not entirely true, because that's why people like us exist, Tony.
Right.
So I wouldn't be scared or fearful. My own prediction for 2025 when it comes to the economy, I think, There's some optimism, though, since the election that Trump will help the economy not go into a recession. As it pertains to the stock market, though, we've had 2 years of very positive performance without really any kind of correction. So we're due for a correction. It doesn't matter, economic policies, who's president, that doesn't matter. It's just part of investing. It's healthy, by the way. It's healthy when the market goes down and resets a lot of these values and standard deviations come down. So, what we want to see is a 5 to 10% correction. We don't want to see a 20% recession, from what, where we're at now, because that would not be good. But a correction of 5 to 10%, maybe even a couple of them are normal, Tony. And so are we due for one of those? Probably so. Okay, probably so. Now
I would say so. I mean, man, we've hit record high. We keep hitting record highs all throughout the year in the stock market. At some point, you're going to see a correction, but that doesn't necessarily mean we're going to be out of this long-running bull market. Usually, there's 100%. A correction, then it goes back up, right?
You got it, Tony. And so, I've talked to some of my own clients that and people that own businesses. Some of them being in leading economic indicator type businesses like trucking, and it's slowing down maybe a little bit. So what I mean by leading is it kind of tells you like the performance of those companies kind of gives you a prediction as to where the economy is going. A lagging indicator company would be some company that is kind of lagging behind what the economy is doing. And so those leading economic indicator companies, there's a few of them, right? There's a few of them that are slow. And so does that mean for sure we're going to have correction? No, it doesn't. But, it's one of those things where personally I see some softness in areas, but then you look at other areas, Tony, and they're booming, right? I mean, and they're still breaking records from the last couple of years. So, and there's no signs of slowing down in those businesses. So,
right. I mean, the jobs market is still really strong.
Right.
Jobs are good, and that means consumers have money to spend. At least those do. Stuff does cost a lot more because of inflation rates over the last couple of years. But again, that's like you said at the beginning of the show, that's slowed. And I think the bottom line is the markets are based on companies' profitability, and that those top 500 companies are finding ways to make more and more money. I mean, that's the bottom line, right?
Yeah, it is. And like you said, it is definitely something that if you continue to invest, no matter what is happening, right? Because that's why we tell people the dollar cost average. Mm-hmm. What do we mean by that is investing on a very systematic basis. Kind of like your 401k when you get deducted from your paycheck and it goes into a 401k, that's dollar cost averaging into the market. And so, if the market does go down, you're buying in at those times at the lower levels. And if it's extended, okay, your current balance is going down, but you're investing too at the lower dollar amounts. So that's the only real significant investment advice I would give you is that if the market does, or when the market goes down, to have some, what we call dry powder, some cash on the sidelines to be able to take advantage of some of those lower prices. But don't make any crazy changes to your current allocation. That's what I always tell people. Don't do that.
And everybody's situation is different. Don't do anything without working with somebody like yourself.
Good point.
And I know you're not making a specific recommendation telling everybody out there to do this or that. What you're saying is this is where it looks like, and in that situation, this is something you might want to consider. But for exact advice, they can pick up the phone, give you a call, set up that no charge consultation,
right?
Because everybody's situation is different, right?
Right. Exactly. So one thing that's funny, Tony, is that we were started to talk about, the retirement and people feeling like, I don't know if I'll ever be able to retire.
In fact, you hear that a lot.
Oh yeah. You do hear that a lot. In fact, we're looking at an article here. 70% of young workers saying that they'll never be able to retire is a giant red flag here.
That's huge. That is a red flag.
Man, you kidding me? That's so, but to me, Tony, when you feel that way, I feel like that's more of an educational type of moment, right? In other words, educating people on their finances, how retirement works, how much you should be saving, how much you should be paying down on debt, how much you should not be using credit cards, and
having an overall written plan too.
yeah, exactly. So when
People saying that don't have a written plan, they're not working with a financial advisor.
You got it.
And if you do that, if you work with somebody like yourself, get a plan in writing. No matter what stage you're at, you'll come up with a plan for your goals and your needs, and that way you can sleep well at night and don't have to worry about not ever being able to retire, right?
So if you're listening to this and you're in your 20s, 30s, and even early 40s, I'm here to tell you, and Tony will emphasize this, it will be here before you know it. Don't not invest because you think, oh, I'll take care of that later. I'll invest for retirement later.
Yeah.
I want to do these fun things. I want to do this and that, and I want to buy this big house. I want to buy this fancy car, all this stuff. It'll be here before you know it. Okay.
Time flies when you're having fun, right? and the good news is we're living longer, but the bad news is we're living longer.
Right. Exactly.
So you need to have a plan in place. How are you going to make it to 95? You know, especially people my son's age, if they stay healthy, you know, and eat right, exercise, they could live like my grandfather did to 101, right? And what are you going to do if you want to retire at 65 and you live to 101? You're going to need some money saved up, right? You might need to be working with Brock Alspaugh.
Well, here's the thing, man. Like, and the younger you are, the less you have to put away because the power of compounding. It's like, hey, if you put $25 a month away when you're 25, you know, you'd have to put a lot more than $25 a paycheck away when you're 40. Okay. I mean, a lot more. So,
yes,
you know,
it goes up exponentially as you get older. So if you start when you're young, I mean, I don't know how many times I've said to myself and to you and others, man, if I'd only known all this when I was in my 20s and had my first full-time job out of college, or even when I was younger and I'd start a Roth IRA when I was 21, like my daughter and son have.
Right.
They have a Roth IRA. My daughter's 21. She has a Roth.
That's
and
awesome.
She's putting money into it
for
each
her.
and every month.
Yep.
Imagine. I mean, I told her you're gonna have a lot of money when you get to be my age.
I love it.
You're gonna have money instead of debt. How about that?
Yeah, I love that. And so when you're talking, I got the great fortune of starting in the financial services business before I was a financial advisor in banking, and I had a supervisor, Viney Mosley, and I remember when I first started at that bank, she told me, she said, hey, you enroll in that 401k right now. Like, that's the first thing I want you to do. And sure enough, I did. And man, was I so glad she told me that. And then, of course, eventually I went on and became a financial advisor and then understand more so the importance of doing that at a young age. And look, it doesn't have to be, normally what do we recommend, Tony? 10 to 15%, right, of your salary to save for future purposes, retirement, and buying other things that you would need to have, another car so you don't have to get a loan, those kinds of things. The more you have of those, obviously it goes beyond 10 or 15. But my point is a general rule is to save between 10 and 15% for retirement. So, if you just stuck with that at the very beginning, right, or just did the amount, even if you just did the amount of the match that you might have. So whether it's a 3 or a 4% match, or maybe it's just a non-elective, contribution your employer puts in for you, do it the minimum what it takes to get that match. Okay. And then you can kind of increase it. A lot of these places, the 401k providers will give you a 1% increase option, which it automatically does for you. It increases your contribution by 1% every year. So think about that. You start at 5% and you're 25 years old. By the time you're 30, hopefully making more money, now you're putting in 10%. Okay. So that can be a huge benefit that you're not going to ever miss, right? You're not going to miss it because guess what? That 1% equals you going to Starbucks one less time a week. I mean, really.
Right.
So there, it doesn't have to be earth shattering. Just start somewhere and let that thing continue to build and contribute a little bit more every year. So anyway, I think, again, going back to this, people not really feeling like they can retire at any point. Business owners, I've heard people say this: I'm never going to retire. I'm just going to keep working. And I love what I do. And that's great. I'm glad you love what you do, but you may not be able to do that. So don't use that as an excuse to not save money for retirement. I own my own business, but I want to save enough money where I don't have to rely on business income at all. Now, I might have the great fortune of having that. I don't know if my boys come into business or I sell it or whatever the heck it is. I'm hopefully getting something, but I'm not relying on it, right? That's something that I'm going to be able to retire because of the money I've saved and because of the power of compounding. And anybody can do that. Okay. So always there's an answer, there's a solution to anything that you might set your mind to. What I mean by that is, look, if you say, I don't know when I'm going to be retired, I'm never going to be retired, all of these things that you do hear a lot of, there's a solution, folks. There is a solution to this issue or to a problem, every one of them. And so, and that's what I love about what I do, by the way, is that I'm a solution finder. And
that's what you do.
And I put together puzzles, right? And that's what makes it fun too, because everybody's puzzle is different. So anyway, yep, that's listen, we can help you. Alspaugh Wealth Management. Give us a call, 573-332-7855, or again, go to our website and you can click on request a consultation with Brock right at the top of the page.
There you go. And that website, AlspaugHwealthManagement.com or AlspaugHwealthManagement.com. And the number to call is 573-332-7855. Brock, I encourage our listeners and viewers out there to give you a call. I know you love to hear from them.
I do.
If they want to give feedback, have ideas or questions about anything we talked about on the show, I encourage them to do that. Give you and your staff at Alspaugh Wealth Management a call. But great show today, talking about when to start saving. The best time 20 years ago, the second best time right now, right? Start saving for retirement, work with a financial professional. Great financial tips today, and it's always fun talking about Thanksgiving.
Here's the thing too, Tony, is that if you call or if you request that consultation and you just want some information on a specific topic, we have brochures, we have presentations to help you understand. Like we have a 401k rollover guide, right? Don't just, take money out of your 401k as a cash out. Don't just roll it to your new 401k. Don't just roll it to an IRA. Understand all of your options and understand how they impact your long-term financial plan. So that's just, I wanted to throw that out there. If you don't, if you want just some more information on a specific topic, we have it for you, folks, and we'll send it to you at no charge. Okay. So anyway, thought I'd throw that in there. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. I hope you have a wonderful day.
All right. Great show today, Brock. And listeners, that does it for today's episode of the Retirement Playbook with our host, Brock Alspaugh.